Hey, what's up, everybody? What's going on? It's been a very long time. Thank you for joining me for my very first vlog for Invite Luxury. So you guys may recognize me. Just to give you a little bit of a recap. Cause I rock the chain, so you know that you could never be me, shorty. Come before me, don't be stupid. Cause I rock the chain, cause I got the jewels. You'll never be the only, no woman gon' take them from me. Cause I rock the chain, because I am the truth. You see me, you will never be more than a deuce next to me. Got the chain, cause I got the chain. I'ma be the lady you don't wanna know. See it in my face, I used to go by Rain Raphael. I grew this page of 11,000 followers from my alternative perspectives like Team No More Boyfriends. I wrote a book. I ended up talking about how we can be unions and partnerships through mutual respect and not having to have a false sense of entitlement called boyfriend or girlfriend. That really set the internet on fire, especially when I said that McDonald's was a date. You guys was really upset about that. But the truth is that I wanted to highlight the fact that those people who do the talking and have those conversations and hard and difficult conversations will have the most successful unions. And you know what? I was right. I was right because it worked for me. So now I've put down Rain Raphael, who you guys may have known to be a singer-songwriter, did a lot of hip hop, soul, R&B, put out 3 albums, wrote a book under that name. People know me in Connecticut as the first lady of hip hop and R&B, and I put her to bed a few years ago. Now I'm back. I still work in music with the Black Love Smiths. I'm married to a very handsome best friend of mine whose name is P. Smith Jr. He is a music producer out here in New Jersey where we currently live, where we are the Black Love Smiths.
Don't just sit here and watch them do it. The next opportunity you get to step out and bet on you, I guarantee you do it and you'll see success. Ladies and gentlemen, please make a whole lot of noise. Show your love and your support for the Black Love Smiths.
Love Smiths has created music for God for the past 3 years. We're very excited to be working on our debut project called Glorified, and we already have the first 3 projects that we'll put out set up and slated to go right after. So there's a lot that we do now that we have been doing before. Some things have changed and some things have stayed the same. But today, we're going to get into exactly where we are now. And I hope that you are ready. So please go get yourself a snack. Go get you something to drink. Come kick it with me. And this is Invite Luxury. Okay, so you used to call me Rain, now you call me Joe. Hi, my name is Joe Smith Jr. Nice to meet you. What I wanted to make sure that I did, coming back to the public space, is lay a few groundwork thoughts, okay? First of all, I want to let you know that a lot has changed, all right? Some people might say I'm not your little friend no more, okay? So when I first used to come up on here, I was a little younger. I'm 40 now. It's different. Okay, I was single. I'm married now. It's different. I'm in my 5th year of marriage with my very best friend. I had 1 child when you met me. I have 2 now. It's different. I used to have a lot of time, so I would jump on here organically, kind of just, hey, how y'all doing? Here's what I'm thinking today. Your girl is very busy now. It's different. Okay. Some of the other things that I used to do is I lived in Connecticut. I now live in Jersey. I work in New York. It's very different.
Okay. And yeah, I used to do music for the sake of doing music, for love, for relationships, for authentic truth. Still do that, but I do it for God, and it's different. So, for all the things that are different, there are some things that do remain the same. And some of the things that are the same is I'm still teen no boyfriends to the core. Okay? So, for all of my girlies who are not married, I still have my 2 cents on how you can invoke marriage into your life, how you can get there progressively, some of the things that I've done that worked for me, and some of the things that people tell you to do that I don't think works at all. Okay, so I'm that girl. I'm here to give you that. I'm big sis. I'm auntie. I'm home girl. I'm little sis. Whatever. That's cool with me. I'm cool with that. We're gonna stay respectful. Still 100% 10 toes down about Brown family restoration. We need to get family homes, 2 parent family homes, rolling and the norm of our society. Want to see a lot more of that. Want to see some logic over body. So definitely appreciate all the beauty that brown girls have, but I know that more than beauty, they have brains. We are the highest educated population. We are running things in multiple different sectors. We are inspirational and vibrational. I really feel as though we can do what we can do it well, and we can do it modest. We can also do it if we don't want to be modest, but in a way that commands and demands respect and makes sense. It's got to make sense. Just got to make sense. That's all. Right? So I'm still about that as well. So I do still spit that queen stuff on a regular basis. I do still feel as though we are elevated as long as we elevate ourselves. I do still speak it on the sense of self-governing. I do believe you have your own crown that you are responsible for and your own kingdom within yourself that you have to rule. And the rules that you create for yourself, in order for you to create them and for them to be truly of value, you're gonna have to be honest with yourself. So what we provide here is some honesty, some openness, some transparency. Is hot all day, every day. But I'm not going to be here every day. I just can't. I can't commit at the level that I used to. So I am dedicated to a first Sunday with you right here as often as God will allow it. All right. So every first Sunday, you can count on me to drop a vlog about what's going on, what's on my heart, answering any questions that you guys have given me, and responding to anything that you may have said that I have said. So that's what you can expect right now from Invite Luxury. Let's get into the concept that's taking over the Teen No More Boyfriends concept. Teen No More Boyfriends was all about mutual respect in relationships, especially in dating. When you date, I feel as though everyone's time is valuable and respected and important. So, a woman, I am totally for her dating multiple people at the same time. I think Shansia said it best. For that, in that, she's able to see without having herself too wrapped in and too focused on one person. She can actually see and vet the person that's actually gunning for her the most, and she can use that time wisely and prioritize her time wisely. Some people felt offended by this because they felt as though that was giving men a pass to be with whomever they wanted and not take her seriously. But the truth is, a promiscuous person is going to be a promiscuous spouse. So if you have a problem dedicating time to a person that you actually wanted to dedicate to, that sounds like a you problem, bruh. And that's something that you would have to deal with. But she doesn't have to take that. And she doesn't have to deal with that. And I don't recommend it for my sis. So in this world and in this life, your time is valuable just like her time is valuable. So she can do what she wants to do with her time, and you can do what you want to do with your time. And that is how dating truly makes the most sense to me. Now, some people interpret that as okay, then she's sleeping with whoever she wants to sleep with. In which case, I've always said that titleless does not mean moralist. So if she's a promiscuous girl, she's going to sleep around. But if she's not a promiscuous woman, she's not going to sleep around. In fact, she's going to enjoy more the value of the conversations that she's having and the connections that she's building way more than the intimacy that she's creating with people. She's not going to come body first. She's going to come mind first. She's going to come thoughts first. And that's the way that she should if she's going to end up someone's wife, because men wife the woman that they can talk to, that they can respect. That's who gets the ring, not necessarily the woman who's got the best thing between her legs. Please understand that. Because at the beginning of the day, especially if she's a brown girl, she already come with the sauce. It's just that. So the competition in that way is steep. If you want to differentiate yourself, you have to be honest with yourself. And then you'll go after the things that truly mean the most to you. Cool? Cool. So that's still Team No More Boyfriends over there. But then we change a little bit and bring a different alternative perspective. Now that I am married and now that I have crafted some of the lifestyle that I've always wanted to live with my family, I now speak to the idea of inviting luxury. My luxury and my luxurious life has to do with spending my time, that same valuable time that I talked about when I was dating that I didn't want to waste on a guy who didn't know what he wanted to do. That same valuable time is something that I now apply to a luxury lifestyle here in New Jersey with my family. For me, luxury is being able to do what I want with who I want to do it. And that's important to me. So you may have been following me or you may not have, but I went from getting a job that I felt like would pay the bills to getting the job that I wanted to pay my bills with. Whether or not I stay at that job doesn't even matter. What matters is that the time that I'm spending is invested into the life that I want to live, the life that I want to have. And that's exactly the type of mindset that you're going to need, sis and bro, when it comes to cultivating the right relationship that you want. Inviting luxury into your life is giving luxury permission to be with you. It means you're going to have to get rid of scarcity mindset. It means that you're going to have to get rid of feeling like you don't deserve anything. It's going to mean that you're going to have to get rid of the idea that you're meant to pay bills your whole life, or that debt runs you, or that every time a bill collector calls, you have to cancel a birthday plan or something that you have lined up for your kid, or you can't do this for Christmas because you have to pay that. It's getting out of that and starting to get into understanding how money really flows, the currency of money, and all of this. Your girl is here to share with you because I've been through it. Me and my husband have been down and broke. I mean, flat broke. I mean, owing everybody for years. And we've only been married for 5 years. We just now coming out of that. So I understand the pressure that money brings. But the way that we beat money was we stopped letting money beat up on us. Living beneath your means, finding a way to live outside of what you're told to live like, outside of anyone else's expectations, going bare minimum down to your basic necessities, and then building from there has really changed the trajectory of our life. Don't know how far we'll get, just saying that's where we are right now, right? Because y'all tend to see the things that I say like I'm boasting. What I'm doing is giving God credit for what he's been able to do. I want to also make sure that we're very clear that this is an authentic brand. I am somebody's mother. I am somebody's wife. I am going to be noisy sometimes in here. My kids going to ask me a question. My baby girl going to come and want something from me. My husband may even ask me to do something. And you know what? They're my priority. So please expect that from time to time. You are talking to a real person who has real feelings and real thoughts. So I am not doing this for the likes. I'm doing this for the growth of me and my people. I am hoping that the people assigned to me can find this to be my ministry and that they can get something out of it for themselves that helps us grow as a people. Cool? Cool. So this is just me also being part of my authentic, luxurious self. In my luxurious life, there are people that identify with me. Very hard to find people who think like me as part that which has been part of my journey. I've noticed that I have a little bit of a weird thought process. I call it alternative perspectives. What you can expect from me is that I'm going to always give you the real, but it may not be what you've heard before. And that's okay, right? I'm not trying to be liked. I'm here to share love. And if that's cool with you, then we cool. All right? Let's get into a little bit of relationships. Some of you may have heard that adultery is now considered legal in New York. The funny part about that is that adultery is a commandment. So nothing that New York says about it is going to change what God said about it. That's first and foremost. All right. You're going to hear God come out my mouth a lot because your girl died, okay, having my daughter. And I know for a fact that God is real because I'm standing here sitting here right now talking to you. So we're going to talk about God a lot. We're going to have to because it's a spiritual journey, right? Adultery is now legal in New York. Don't be fooled by this, ladies and gentlemen. Don't be fooled by this. This is just an obvious way of the world and the government trying to flex its political power in a realm that it doesn't belong. It doesn't get to legalize adultery. Adultery and matrimony is something that has to do with the God covenant. It has to do with the Creator's covenant. And even if you don't believe specifically in a religion, I'm okay with that. I don't have no problem with that at all. Ain't nobody coming here talking about no religion to you. I consider myself Hebrew. That's different from Jewish. And that's all I'm going to say. I go by the 10 Commandments and that's how I roll. I think everybody can appreciate the 10 Commandments. I think everybody thinks it's wrong to steal, kill, to commit adultery, to lie, to cheat. Everybody thinks it's wrong to want something that doesn't belong to them. Everybody thinks it's wrong to not honor their spiritual mother and father. Everybody thinks that. So I don't think that that's something that's so new here. Okay. So because of that, I think I could get along with most people without the division that sometimes religion does create amongst people. All right, so we're not even going there. I'm not going religion. I'm just going basic principles of spiritual law. Adultery is none of New York's business. Okay? Okay. Let's talk about the topic at hand. I said my advice is just don't get married. That comes from promiscuous wives are promiscuous women. Promiscuous men are promiscuous husbands. Marriage is not some wand that you wave over a person and they become this wonderful, magical princess or prince. It just doesn't work like that. You are going to marry a person, hopefully an adult, who acts like an adult and is responsible as an adult for their adult decisions. Your job is to make sure of that. That's about it. You really can't go into a marriage believing that I thought that's what you was doing when we was playing around or when we was single. I thought you would be different knowing that we married now. We married now is what a lot of people think. A lot of men even. We married now. It's different. If she had trust issues while y'all were dating, they coming to the marriage. They're going to be right there. And you married it. If she has a problem with vocalizing her emotions and she shuts down, she bringing that to y'all marriage. It ain't gonna be all of a sudden she trusts you $150 because she walked down an aisle in a pretty dress in front of her daddy. That's not gonna change that. That's who you married. Women, if you got a fella who don't call you when he leave the house for hours and hours on end, that ain't gonna change because he got married. It's just not gonna change. That's who you married. All right. Promiscuous people are promiscuous spouses. Now, I want y'all to stop pretending that you have a problem with promiscuity if you're promiscuous too. Because then maybe y'all deserve each other. The problem is that some of y'all be promiscuous trying to get with people who are modest and not promiscuous in order to make yourselves look like you're not promiscuous. And to me, that's offensive, right? What we need is to be honest, open, and transparent. You're going to hear that a lot from me. I believe in hot answers and hot living. Honest, open, and transparent. That's the only way to really get to an authentic union with somebody. So, for me, I think it comes down to your vetting process. If you get with somebody, one of the main questions you can ask right now is, how do you feel about the adultery overturn in New York? And listen to that person. They may tell you something like, you know what, I really don't care about that because for me, I feel like everybody going to cheat. If they feel like everybody's going to cheat, find out why. Some of you guys think that the dating process is all about Instagram pictures, right? He took me here. She wore this. We went here together. All of that is just secondary to what you really want to get into. And what you really want to get into when you're dating is the meat and potatoes of the questions. I can honestly tell you that for the year that me and my husband dated each other exclusively and seriously, every day there was the potential of me never calling him again. And every day there was the potential of him never calling me again because we only wanted to hear what was honest, open, and transparent from each other. We came with our questions ready at the throat. Like, you're not my girlfriend. I'm not your boyfriend. Tell me the truth. And those answers had to be what we needed to hear, or we wasn't going to keep going because time was of the essence. I think that that's something that you have to have enough confidence in yourself to know that it's going to work out for you. You don't have to give too much too soon. I'm not saying you can't compromise, because when you feel it in your gut that this is your person, you do have to do some of that honoring. That's being honest, that's being open, and that's being transparent. You understand that this person is special, this person is unique, this person is different. I'm going to give it a little bit more juice. That's fine. That's fine. But then you take notes on yourself, and you're responsible for yourself for that. So you don't say, dang, I saw that red flag in the beginning and I ignored it and I should have went with it and he tricked me. You tricked yourself because you saw it. You chose to ignore it. You decided it wasn't that serious. And now you got to deal with it. I'm always going to be a buck about accountability, especially for women. And women feel like, okay, I've been called a pick me before. I've been said that, I cape for men before. All of that is all of women. The women who say that about me are the princess syndrome women, the Cinderella women. I still can't stand that story. I do not subscribe to Cinderella mindset. I'm too smart, right? So this concept that there's going to be some guy to arrive in his white Maserati or Tesla and he's going to come pick you up and make you a princess overnight based on what you wear and based on how pretty you are and based on what time you arrive at his ball, that is nonsense and it's stupid. And I would never teach my now daughter that type of mentality. The truth is that marriage and unions and bonds are based in trust, respect, and dignity. And if you can't maintain all three of those, you can't maintain a marriage, right? So when it comes down to it, you enter in with your trust, your respect, and your dignity on lock. You wear it. That's the ball gown, right? It's not about what he can provide you. It's about what y'all can do together. Or you can just do your own thing by yourself, right? So I really represent the ambitious wife. To tell y'all a little bit about our setup here, I work in the city 5 days a week. My husband is home. He works with our children and he works with our music. And that is our setup. My husband is my husband. You ain't never going to hear me disrespect him, and I will never let none of y'all disrespect him. Whatever you think is going on because I bring in the money, please know right now, your thoughts don't matter. But if you going to have thought, keep it to yourself. Because the truth is that I don't value my husband off of the money. I'm not more important to this family because I can make the money. In fact, there was a time that I keep center forward in my head where he had all the money. When we first got married, he had all of it, right? And what happened was we realized he's laboring. He's wearing himself down. We barely get time to enjoy our life of luxury because we partnered with the right person, because he's working so much, working so hard, doing so much. And we figured out that the way that this system is set up, it's set up for the brown girl to go forward. She can work in higher level positions. She can get her degrees faster. Everything is set up for her to exceed and succeed very well. And she will get further and she will be able to get loans more and do a lot more with money and all of that because they find her less offensive or less intimidating than that big brown man walking into the room, especially like my husband with the dark skin, the dreads, the beard. It's the stereotypical aggressor in this world. So we, using our smarts, using our logic, said, dang, I can make more money doing less work for our family. And then I can come home and be with our family and enjoy it. The only way that that doesn't fit or make sense is if I had a Cinderella mindset, like a lot of y'all do, where I felt like, dang, even though I am smart, even though I am capable, even though I am bold and courageous and beautiful and I have opportunities, I don't want to use any of them because it's the man's job. Like, it's silly. It's silly. If you truly understood what was happening in the demographics of society and what was really going on as women, then you would understand that you are his weapon against a lot of the setup. And you would allow yourself to be weaponized by him, which is what I do. So my husband is one of the strongest people I know. It takes an incredible amount of courage and skill and passion and commitment and understanding and respect, mutual respect, to be able to play the role that he plays for our family and do it exceedingly well, despite not having a father to teach him how to nurture our children, despite not having a lot of the support and encouragement or the opportunities to vent like women do. For him to show up the way that he shows up for our family every day, you ain't never gonna hear me disrespect my man, and you will never be allowed to do that either. Now, some of you men have a mentality where you believe that it's your job to provide in that way. Providing for you means that. Providing for me don't mean that. You provide for me when you keep God forefront in this union, because God is our provider. God will do what we can't do. When we both couldn't get a job for a year, 2 years, like, it wasn't like, we didn't fall into some of the gaps that this world creates. And it was like, oh, well, baby, you definitely got to go get something, right? We've had those moments. But the truth is, neither one of us could get hired until we gave it over to God. And then when we gave it over to God, God spoke and God said, I want Joe to go out there. I want Joe to do what she can do. I want her to bring it back. And I want y'all to continue your ministry for me. So while I'm doing what I do, that doesn't cost me a lot of emotional, physical, mental stress. He's doing what he does for this whole entire family and creating space for us to do ministry. It's the most powerful guy I know. And so when that comes down to it for me, we live a luxury life. I come home and create music. That's how I spend my free time. I come home and chill with my kids. I get home early because I have a regular job that doesn't stress me out and I'm not exhausted behind it, right? I don't labor for someone else's dream. We labor for our dream. And that is the luxury life that we live right now. So our idea and our concept of luxury is different. Just like our idea and our concept of marriage is different. We are a partnership. We are a union. I don't disrespect my husband. I'm fully submitted to him, even though I am an ambitious wife. I go out and I do all the things that God has given me the ability and strength to do. I go do. And then I have a husband who's very proud of me, whose pride I need. I need him to be proud of me. I need him to feel like I can do this. And I encourage him to help me do this by being encouraging. It's not something that a lot of people talk about, but it does happen. The word I think is called soliloquy or cyclically or in cycles is what I'm trying to say. In a lot of marriages, if you talk about the truth with your grandmother and your great-grandmother, if you still have them, God willing, they'll tell you there were times where they had to have the money. There were times where they slid the money under the table. There were times where they were signed up to carry the load. But they never, ever, ever made it seem like your grandpapa or your great-grandpapa was of no value for that truth. So I will never do that to my children's father. He's a father to both of our children, knowing that I came into the game with a baby. Now, let's talk about that. Let's talk about the single moms who still want to be married. If you're a single mother and you still want to be married, we need to talk about what that means truly. because as an ambitious wife, I'm still fully submitted into my husband and to my husband, which means I have to relinquish a lot of my control over my son to him as our son so that he can do his job, right? It's difficult. It's hard because it was me and Legend for so long, right? But my baby boy needs a father, and he needed a father. And so, who showed up for him and who continues to show up for him and give him the things that I can't is this man who's willing to let his ego and his pride go so that we can be successful as a unit and as a family. It takes an incredible amount of strength to do that. And so I knew that he would be capable of doing that when we talked the way we talked when we were dating. All right? Going back to that vetting process. Let me ask y'all, the person that you're dating right now, if something were to happen to you physically, would you be able to rely on that person to maintain your morals, your boundaries, your principles, and your lifestyle for the people who rely on you? Whether that be children, if you're a single mom, I was talking to the single moms, but even the single papas, would you be able to do that? And if you're not looking for that person while you're dating, then I advise you to start over. Because some of you guys are getting married for the fun of the moment. Some of you guys are dating because you have nowhere to live. Some of you guys are dating someone because you have you have a fear of being alone and you have no excitement in your life. So I read something the other day too. I think it was in the 4-Hour Week. And it basically was saying that we're going to stop asking people if they're happy, because it's not about whether or not you're happy. It's about whether or not you're excited. Most people believe that they're happy if they have everything that they said they need to be happy. But you'll see from so many other people who have passed away, who have off themselves, who have gone a negative direction, some of the richest, most, people who have the most things are the most unhappy people you could ever meet. And the reason why is because they have no excitement to keep living. There's nothing that makes them jump out of the bed. The way that my family is structured right now has everyone jumping out of bed. Everybody. I get to go do what I love to do. My husband gets to jump up and be with his children and be with his music, which is dope. My son gets to jump up and go attend a school that embraces his artistic abilities. My daughter gets to spend a whole day with her father. Do you know what that's going to do for her self-esteem as a young brown girl? To have spent her whole youth with her father? Granted, I will be taking over when she gets school age because I homeschool my children. But for now, these first 5 years, could you do it? Could you sacrifice 5 years to get your family 15 years ahead? That's the mentality that I think I'm going to be able to bring. And if you're enjoying that, and if you want to hear more about that, I encourage you to continue to join me every first Sunday. I'm going to commit to. I can't do every day. I can't do all the time right now. Your girl has to live. I have to be here for my family. I have to do the things that I love to do, which is spend time with them and enjoy them. But I'm willing to share as your sister, as your friend, as your confidant, as your person in this. I will keep your name anonymous if you would like. I'm encouraging you to ask questions that you need to ask about marriage, about love, about truth, about reality behind this. Because the truth is, people are getting divorced, but they're not talking about the truth behind why. And 73% of divorces are because people lack commitment. It has nothing really to do with the financial thing that people used to say before, or adultery even, despite what New York wants to say. It really has to do with commitment in the sense that they don't want to do this long, right? And maybe that could mean adultery to some people if you base commitment solely on adultery. But I challenge you to not value a person based on their genitalia or finance. I challenge you to take those two things out of whether or not a person is a good person or not, or the right person or an attractive person. If you take out their financial capabilities and take out their sexual prowess, and you just judge somebody based on other factors, the hot answers, the honesty, the openness, the transparency, the vulnerability, if you use those things as a gauge to decide whether or not this person is valuable enough to continue to invest your time into, I assure you, you'll vet differently. You'll have different kinds of relationships at more value than you ever had before. And you'll be way closer to the person you'll die next to than you've ever been. I guarantee you that. So I'm your girl, Joe. I'm going to go ahead and go because I don't really have a lot more that I want to share with you this particular vlog. But I'm welcoming you to send me any info, any questions. Go ahead and comment. I'll respond to each one of your comments under here. If you want to know anything about me, anything about what has transpired since we last kicked it, I am an open, honest, and transparent book. I don't have any problems answering directly. There are some things I may say mind your business about because I am married and I don't have to answer you. I'm 40. But if I can help you, and if there's a way for me to help you, I'm more likely to give you the space and time that you're giving me than I am to ignore you. So if you can give me, if you want to give me some space and time to find out some answers to some real questions and you want me to answer them, I'm here for that. I'm here for that because I think that that's what I needed that I didn't get enough of. And a lot of these answers that I've found, I ended up trial and error in. And that's, I think, one of the reasons why I'm a little older than some other people that I know who are recently married. And I think that that's good for me. That worked for me. That was necessary for me. But I hope to be able to use that to help us as a whole, as a community, as people, to really see the value in marriage and to really cultivate lives of luxury moving forward. So thank you for spending this time with me. I'm your girl, Joe Smith Jr. Please follow me on all of the social media, but definitely keep your eye on Black Love Smiths because that's where my heart lies. We appreciate you. We love you. Remember to stay respectful. Remember to stay true. Remember to stay honest, open, and transparent at all times. You deserve to be here, so stand in your square. All right? Love y'all. Bye.